The Dechambros are back. This is season 1, episode 13.
We are back.
We had the Valspar last week at the Copperhead
Valspar?
Valspar.
I don't know. I've always called it the Valspar.
Valspar, tomato, whatever,
Fair
man.
enough.
It is what it is. Regardless, I mean, I told you this is one of my favorite tournaments of the year, and I think that it proved itself worthy this weekend.
You know what? I watched pretty much all of it over the weekend there, and I was really excited. I think, truthfully for me, it was the JT Hovland thing, at the end there, and how well JT played. And
for sure.
I mean, I guess you could say he was snake bit at the end there.
Absolutely was. And I was going to say that, I mean, obviously Viktor Hovland ended up being victorious over JT, but the big star of the show, and especially of Sunday, was the fucking snake pit, man. Like, I told you to expect carnage, and that's exactly what we got. I mean, starting Sunday, I was convinced, Justin Thomas was back. Justin had this tournament in the bag, and then he hit hole number 16. And just to kind of compare, ultimately our winner in Viktor Hovland, which we'll get to him in a second as well, because a whole lot of craziness going on over there. But the snake pit of 16, 17, and 18. JT played that bogey, par, bogey. Hovland played it birdie, bogey, ultimately winning by one shot over JT. So a huge factor of this golf tournament.
I'm pretty sure JT had a 3-shot lead going into the snake pit there, or if
it was a 2. He had a 3-shot lead. During the day. I can't remember what hole that
it would have been probably the hole prior.
He definitely had a 2-stroke lead going into that snake pit.
One hole ahead.
And he ended up one hole behind. So really crazy. And I mean, just a really big example of how hard golf is, man. Like, look at Viktor. Viktor's last 4 starts on the PGA Tour
I was going to bring that up too.
A missed cut, and a win. And I mean, watching him get back into, I can't even say get back into his form, because even when you listen to him talking in the interviews afterwards, he hates his game right now.
He just had a week, and good golfers can have weeks like that, right? And I mean, Hovland's a young golfer. He's won a few times on tour, and he'd definitely be one of those rising stars who's putting himself in the category of, I can have one of these weeks. Because I mean, even looking into it, thinking, all right, let's look at it as a better. Like, would I feel confident betting Hovland? Like you had said, cut. Prior to that, he had a T22 and a T36. That's his year so far before this tournament. And, look at how he's done in this tournament previously. He's only ever played it once, T33. Zero confidence in this man's game going into this week, but good players can have weeks like this, and he is a really good player.
Absolutely, and I think I can speak for everybody out there when I say I did not see this coming. I mean,
I wanted JT to win. I was so excited, and I was almost disappointed that Hovland won. Not in the sense that it's good for Hovland. I don't think anything negative there. It's just I really was enjoying watching JT play like this last weekend, and then bring it into this weekend, and I was really hoping that he was going to pull it out.
Yeah, and I don't think that this takes anything away from Justin. I mean, he's still playing phenomenal golf right now. I think he's knocking the door down. I'm confident that, I'm going to say maybe. I'm confident we're going to see a win out of JT this year.
Oh, yeah.
I think hopefully, so, as long as he can keep this pace up, right? And we see it so many times where players will get into their prime and they'll have these runs, and then they kind of just get a little bit zonked out and they start to fade. And then, you don't really see them for the rest of the year. And I'm really hoping that that's not the case for Justin.
I mean, here's the thing. I think Justin's eyes are set a little bit higher on what he wants to accomplish this year. I think winning this would have been nice for him, but I don't think it's going to affect him mentally in any sense of the word. At the end of the day on Sunday, when he's putting in his scores, he goes over, shakes Hovland's hand, congratulates him, and says, I'll see you in Augusta. And, he's laser thought. it made me look at his odds. You know what I mean? Like immediately I'm thinking like he's playing extremely well leading up, right? If anyone's going to go on a run, we've said it how many times during this podcast, JT can go on a run. And he's never won the Masters. And everybody's looking for that, for that jacket.
Absolutely.
So,
and I mean, I'm definitely more confident moving forward with Justin Thomas than I would be with Viktor Hovland, right? I mean, like Victor's a freak, man. Like he's gone through 5 different coaches already. Like Viktor was one of those guys that, I mean,
swings,
yeah, like
his short iron game. There was that awesome video of him hitting in the clubhouse during COVID. And
and I mean, it's one of those things where I think golf has this really funny way of making people continue to chase that perfection, right? Yeah. And I think that's the big difference between the greatest golfers in the world and the golfers that can have great moments is when you look at someone like Tiger Woods. Like Tiger Woods has been very vocal on the fact that golf is not a game of perfect, right? It's never like, hey, I'm going for this pin or I'm going for there, right? You're going to pick your spot, you're going to go for it, and you're going to hope for the worst, but you're also going to play the odds of knowing, okay, if I pull this thing right, I'm safe, don't go left, so I'm going to aim a little bit more to the right of the green. Like
you're playing to where your misses are.
100%. And with Tiger, I mean, with all of his swing changes throughout the years, what he was chasing wasn't perfect, it was consistency, right? Mm-hmm. And I fear that Viktor Hovland is chasing perfect, and that's really been detrimental to his game because he has these little pockets where he's found something and then he fucking changes it again. And it's like you don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. And when you find it, stick to what that is consistently.
Yep.
And keep that going. Play to your misses. Play to your shortcomings, right? Know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. You don't need to make every part of your game perfect and your strength, right? If you have specific strengths, right, play to them, right? Play away from your weaknesses. But my fear is that Viktor is on this search to be the perfect golfer, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. It's hard to know what's going on in his head. You're very right in the sense he's changed, coaches how many times. He's gone through so many changes. And there's so many times over the past few years where I've been like, oh, Hovland's on the rise. It's his time. And then he just fades, like you're saying, and then randomly wins again. And so for me, it's weird because, we talk about some of these guys like in the past who've won one tournament and then just disappear, right? Like, how's this guy done since his last win? Done nothing, right? Hovland's kind of in that category, but then he just wins again. And then what's he done since? That's how it feels for me right now, at least.
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely what have you done for me lately kind of golfer. And I mean, still put some respect on the guy's name. You know what I mean? He is the FedEx Cup champion.
Yes, he is.
So he definitely has what it takes to get it done. I just think that he struggles very hard mentally in terms of what he wants out of his game and what he wants to see. And I mean, even with a win, he's not happy, right? So what's gonna make this guy happy? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. He's in the middle of changing things. He still doesn't feel comfortable with where things are at. He doesn't feel like he could replicate that is probably what his thoughts are, right? He's like, kind of what I said in the beginning, flash in the bottle. Like, I just had a week right now, but I don't feel like I know what I did different to create this, right? I think that's kind of what the thought is in his head. So
well, I mean, 100%. But then we also talk all the time about how there's horses. Fucking Christ Almighty, horses for courses, and there's courses that fit different golfers better than others. And I think that if you're a type of player that plays better on these courses that have wider fairways, then just show up at all those events and kind of figure yourself out. Because, I mean, especially this year, he's played horribly in all of the elevated events where you actually have to show a lot of skill and move the ball and have creativity. And if that's what you're struggling with and that's what you're working on, but that's taking away from your ability to do what you can do, then is it worth it? I mean,
yeah, like I get what you're saying. Valspar's not an easy course by any stretch of the imagination. So like there is some creativity out there. I just think he's just trying to find himself, right? And winning is a good way to find yourself. And I think he just needs to flip that switch mentally to be like, all right, I'm here. I got it. I figured it out. Yep. We did it. We've been working on it. Look what it did. So let's just keep doing what we're doing. Because you're not doing something wrong if you're getting wins.
For sure. And I mean, he definitely wasn't the only golfer in the field that wasn't happy with his game. Have you seen all those videos? Yeah. My God, we got our poor guy saw him just having a mental breakdown.
Who busted the
Adam Hadwin?
Okay, that's got to be like, truthfully, in my head, throwing clubs there should be some sort of punishment from the tournament, it's just not what you want to see in the game. And then breaking something on the court, I'm sure he'll pay for it. He probably has no issue with that. It's not a good look for golf in general, having these hissy fits on the course like that. I mean, I'm all for a hockey fight, but nobody's fighting on course. There's nothing like that. You're just fighting your own demons, and you look like an embarrassment.
For sure. And completely different sports and attitudes, and you know what I mean?
No, I understand. I'm just saying, if they want to fight, let's set up a PGA fight club. I'm down for it. Right? But if you're just going to fight your own demons on national television, we're watching this. I don't know. It's not a good look in my opinion.
I 100% agree with you. And to be honest with you, I haven't looked it up. I don't know the actual rules. I know they don't get stroked, right? But I don't know if there's, just like in football or basketball, I think there's fines. There should be. If there isn't, definitely there should be.
There should be something for that.
I mean, poor Adam Hadwin. I've definitely been on the course and hit a bad shot and smashed my club down in frustration before. It's definitely happened. Bad luck that there was a sprinkler head right underneath him there for that. But
I'll be honest, I've played around with a buddy who's thrown his driver and broke it. It was the most awkward round of golf after. I didn't want to be happy about any of my nice shots. I didn't it was horrible to be in that moment and to continue playing throughout because he's angry every tee off. You know what it's just not a good look, right? And I remember in the beginning when I was golfing, I feel like I was very frustrated. I would complain a lot. And then I played with somebody who was a little worse than me. And that happened the whole time he was playing. I was like, I'm never complaining again when I'm on the course. It took one time to learn how I was being from someone else being that way. I was like, okay, no one likes me when I'm doing this. I just got to keep it in, right? It's all, I don't know. At this level, it's...
For sure. And he's definitely put out his apology and all that kind of stuff, right? So... Obviously, hindsight's always 20/20, and when you have the ability to look back, and I'm sure, he probably got home and his wife put it on and was like, look, you look like a fucking idiot here, right? And he probably was, yeah, you're absolutely correct, right? And I'm with you there too, 100%. We've all played rounds with, a Debbie Downer that's out there, and I really feel bad for the playing partners on a professional side of things, because for me and you, if you're having a hissy fit and it's ruining my round, we paid $50 and we're playing the Muni and I'm going to go home and it is what it is. But these guys have money on the line, and if their playing partner is having an absolute fit out there and it's causing, a disturbance to their round or even the time where he just kind of stood there and was like, hey, can someone come fix this? You know what I mean? It's definitely going to affect his playing partners as well. And in professional golf, although it is an individual sport, obviously they're out there in a group, right? So it's going to have an effect for sure negatively on
I think it's a little different in the sense of how I was envisioning it. As a professional, you see your playing partner, right? Having a hissy fit like that. It's almost like, well, don't got to worry about him this week, right? And just keep focused on your game. When I'm out with my boys, I'm in there for the vibe. I'm in there for the conversation. And then when something like that happens, the conversation ends too. Right? That's what I'm saying. It's awkward. I don't know if it's as awkward in the professional side, right? You kind of just laugh at it and kind of move on, wait a hole and ask them how you doing, right?
Yeah.
But in the professional world, it's not like you're sitting in between waiting and talking to that level of getting out of the zone, right? I envision there are some, chirps or some talking going on, but probably not to the same level you and I when we're going out to the local course down here, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I can definitely see certain players being more talkative than others.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's true.
Victor and Justin weren't the only two golfers that were in the field, though. We had a pretty insane top of the leaderboard here. Billy Ho continuing to play some really surprisingly good golf this weekend. I mean, a pair of 69 and 67 on the weekend puts him in a top 5 spot. I think that's Billy Ho's first top 5 in, God, as far as I can remember.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a champion over there, so better watch your words, because he's got championship DNA in there. He can pop out a top 5 when he wants. All right?
We'll get to the Dirty Bird later when we talk about the TGL, but he definitely brought that momentum further with him as well. Talking a little bit further, let's you want to go and see how our fantasy team did this week?
Yeah. So fantasy wise, I mean, I think you're going to lead right into it, but we had a decent outing. I mean, I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say it was terrible, right? We had 2 people finished inside the top 10 there.
We did. That was good Canadian boy Corey Connors and my man Shane Lowry.
That was, yeah. We had a couple guys tied for 12th, and that was a very surprising Xander, and I think we need to have a few conversations there with how well he played this weekend, and E. coli.
So I'm more surprised about the top 12 the T12 for Eric Cole.
This is, once again, you're just throwing shade at my guy E. coli, and he's just popping out decent finishes for someone who wasn't expected to get good finishes for us because he was at the bottom of the teams lists.
I mean, decent finish. This is his first real decent finish. What else has he done?
I mean, I can pull all this out, but I don't want to embarrass you with all of my paperwork here, Shane, okay?
I think he got, 22nd or something last week? I mean,
yeah, that's decent finish for somebody who was in one of the last groupings.
Who's missed the cut and every other. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You were expecting this cut almost every time. He's put up 2 top 20s for us now. That's pretty good. That's decent.
I'm happy with it. I'm just saying I'm surprised. I mean, the guy hasn't shown up much for our team. He showed up this weekend. Thank you. You know what I mean? I can't thank you enough. Xander, I mean, let's finish the list. Willie Z, it's 47.
I'd love to talk about Willie Z in a second here, okay? Because once again, Willie Z was doing pretty decent on day 3 and blew up at the end of his round. 4 bogeys in the last 5 holes on day 3 when he was -3 going into that stretch. And on day 3, the leaderboard was led by a -6, I believe, right?
Sure.
At the end of the, I'm pretty sure it was -6 led the day, or it was -7 that led the day to end. Either way, he was in contention and then blows up and a T47.
Yeah, right? I mean, 73, 72 on the weekend's not a good look. Willie Z is just continuing to struggle, and it opens a lot of questions for me, right? And it's the same questions that I had in terms of when we picked him, right? Is Willie Z healthy? I don't know. It's not like he's showing signs of pain with his back when he's out there, but in order to aid his back, he put on all that weight, right? He had all that rehab on his back. He completely changed his entire swing to be more healthy for himself and to give himself some longevity in the game. But it feels like he kind of lost that spark that he had when he changed that swing. And I'm really not confident that he's in control of his golf ball.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue that in a sense that it feels like he streaks. And it's not just streaking in the sense of he did really good Saturday, did really good. No, he streaks during the same day. He does really well in the first 9, then blows up the back 9, right? And I don't know, part of me has this weird feeling that he's going to show up when it matters most, because you take a look at, some of his prior Masters finishes, right? He's got a couple T2s in there, a couple top 5s.
He has a lot of 2s in a lot of majors, man.
That's what I am hoping that comes out during major season and it makes all of this worrying worth it, because he's got some solid finishes in those elevated events for us. And that's my hope.
Yeah,
I think it's the only hope we can have right now, unfortunately.
That's my hope 100% for the Dechambros team, but also for Willie, because especially early on in his career, he came out with a bang. He got all of those 2s, and this is really where I think that's going to hurt him in terms of his overall career, because if he converts even one of those 2s into a 1 and wins himself a major, this is a whole different conversation. 100%. But with that style he was playing with, obviously, you know what I mean, it broke his back down and it wasn't going to be sustainable for his entire career. But I think the way that he was hitting the ball gave him the ability to get those finishes. And if he came out off the gate, he took 1 or 2 majors down and then never did anything again because he changed his swing and now he doesn't have it anymore, he's still, you know what I mean, up there in the rafters as a major champion. This new Willie and this new back and this new swing, is it a major championship player? I'm struggling to see it right now. I don't think the Willie Z we're seeing today is the Willie Z that we're accustomed to seeing.
I don't think this is the full final form of Willie Z that we're going to see, is what I'm going to put to you. I think he needs to get in the lab with Bryson. I think he needs to find out what Bryson was doing, and he needs to start getting on that plan. I mean, if we're talking about somebody who gained a lot of weights, changed their entire game, and is still on top of the world, we're talking about my guy, our best friend and podcast sponsor, Bryson Dechambros.
I mean, for legal reasons, I'm going to have to say he is not our podcast sponsor.
But he's our best friend.
I'm also going to say
Maybe.
he's not our best friend. I mean,
Maybe,
he could
right?
be. You never know. I would love that, but yeah, I mean, I see where you're going with it. I don't see it as the answer because even Bryson himself has slimmed down since his kind of post-COVID
but I mean,
steroid days.
Willie isn't, Captain America over there on steroids. He's just
100%, and he definitely
finally, he's young too. He's kind of just like filling out, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like almost like a dog when
dog
starts to fill out a little bit.
Starts to fill, get that little bit of a belly.
Yeah, it's 100% my hope that he can pull it together and he can figure something out. I don't see the finish line right now. It hurts me to say that. Like, he's one of my favorite players that are out there, and I hope the absolute best for him. And I think that golf is better when Willie Z is better. I mean, seeing his name in contention just brings excitement to the game of golf. It's just he's not playing exciting golf right now.
I mean, I kind of like it because to put a top 5 pick for Willie Z on the Masters, the odds are probably a little bit better in our favor now because of the way he's been playing recently.
For sure.
And definitely think about sprinkling that because of his prior finishes. But
again, see, like that's where I would disagree with you. Like I could not stay further away from Zalatoris when it comes to the Masters this year.
I feel like I'm going to have like 25 to 30 bets in, and if I just make my money back, I'll consider that a happy, good weekend. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
All right, let's round this out here, though, Shane, because fantasy-wise for the week, we let you know how our players did there. We ended 121st for the week, which was, just under middle of the pack there. Last week, we were at 107th for the year, and we've actually moved up 2 spots to 105th now.
There we go. So decent week. No real movement. Could be better. Couple of those, T8s, they sink a couple more putts and we get some top 5s in there and possibly a winner. Obviously, we're doing a hell of a lot better. But all things considered, having 4 players in the top 20, I'm happy with for sure.
Perfect.
Let's move on because this week is another big week. It kicks off the beginning of what I like to call the Texas stretch.
Yeah,
we have the Houston Open being played at Memorial Park Golf Course, and a couple of big names showing up to play this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much Masters prep week for a lot of these big names that we're going to talk about here. Rounded out with, Rory and Scottie at the top of the leaderboard there. Odds-on favorites there, both of them. But I was taking a look at the odds, and some of these names, like the way they had them in the odds order, kind of surprised me. So I'm going to go down this list here for you. It was Scottie first,
Of course.
Then we had Rory.
Of course.
Then we have Aaron Rye. And then we have JJ Spawn, Davis Thompson, one of our guys there, Jason Day, Tony Finau, where it's just rounding out the top of that leaderboard for odds to win the tournament. So a couple of names that surprised me up there, but I did a little bit further research and I kind of figured out, I think, why they're up there. maybe not Davis Thompson so much beyond his prior finishes at this event here, but looking at Aaron Rai, he's got some solid finishes at this event in the past, and this weekend is actually supposed to be a lot of rain there. And Aaron Rise won on tour in the rain, and last year he had 4 top 10s during events that were rain affected.
It's that 2-glove little situation he's got going on. The iron covers keeping him nice and dry. He might be onto something. I mean, Aaron Rai, I definitely, when I was taking a look at who I was going to bet this week, he was definitely on that list. You're no stranger to me telling you, like, I struggle to bet the guy. There's just no way that...
I know you had a lot of hate for him when I wanted to pick him on our team.
Man, you know what? Call me dumb or whatever. The iron cover thing, again, love the story. It bugs the absolute fuck out of me. And the 2 gloves, I can't get behind either. You got Freddie Couples wearing 0 gloves, and you got Aaron Rai wearing fucking 2 of them. Like, it's just, it bugs the shit out of me. When it's on the TV, it's not visually appealing for me to see someone just grab I just can't.
I just want to see him grab the trophy with both gloves.
Oh, keep the gloves on. That would be incredible, man. The kid can go out there. He can prove me wrong, and obviously he has in the past, but it's just not. I just can't. I can't get behind.
There's going to be one player whose irons are always dry when he goes to take a shot, and it's going to be Aaron Rai.
Aaron Rai is that guy,
and he's going to keep them dry.
The big name that was on there that really interested me, our guy JJ Spawn. So obviously he's in the limelight right now for his second place finish at the Players. What really kind of stood out to me is, last year, JJ Spawn, he won the Valero Texas Open, which of course isn't this week, it's next week, okay? And that Valero Texas Open win is what got him into the Masters. And he talked a lot about how his play in the Masters kind of struggled because of how intense the week was before, not having the rest, not going in there and being able to prep, obviously it being his first Masters appearance. So he actually pulled out of the Valero and is playing in the Houston this week as his Masters prep, because he wants to be able to finish up this weekend, go to Augusta, and get ready for the Masters. So, a guy who's won in Texas before has his, mindset on a heartbreaking defeat against, one of the absolute giants of the golf game, and getting himself ready for the Masters. We've talked a lot about these kind of prep games and how, I've been proven wrong already this year twice on me thinking someone's going in here just to get themselves ready, but actually showing up and winning and contending in these things. So JJ Spawn's one that definitely got my attention.
I took a look at JJ. I gave him some consideration when I was looking at my bets for this week, and I don't know. So I'm a little hesitant to put anything towards him, in the sense that before last weekend, JJ Spawn wasn't on my radar. He didn't do anything in any other week that put him on my radar this year.
What in the fuck is going on in this podcast booth? Sorry if you hear that noise. I don't know if you can or not, but I can hear it. Anyway, sorry. JJ Spawn, not on your radar.
Yeah, I think it's more, like, I took a look at how he did at this event the year before, and you said, he had a long prep going into Augusta. Well, he played this and Valero, right? So, yeah, that makes sense. I don't think he did very well at this event last year. It wasn't a top 20. I think he made the cut, but I think he ended in 30th or 33rd or something along those lines. You're looking that up for me right now. Thank you. I don't know. I feel like everybody's going to be on JJ Spawn because of how he did in that last event, and I've never seen him replicate something over and over. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely has not played well here before. So his last 3 appearances, 2024, 2021, and 2019, 36th, 46th, and 73rd. So, at the same point in time, we talk in golf about these rising stars, and I think that this week is going to be a really important week in the storyline of JJ Spawn's career, in terms of is that second place finish at the Players, is that the beginning of his ascent into being a star, or was it just a flash in the pan and it could have been his week, but it wasn't, and then we just go back to mediocrity?
I'm leaning towards the latter only because the odds are that that's probably the truth, right? I mean, when we look at things like what are the odds he's going to go on a some sort of run, right? Like a Scottie run. What's the odds he's going to go on a Spieth run from when he first came into
Yeah.
I just don't. Those things are so far and few between from happening. It'd be amazing if it does happen, right? Like you said, it would be a storyline. But if he finishes 32nd, if he misses the cut, there's absolutely no story, and the story died 2 weeks ago.
For sure. And I mean, he's plus 3,500 to win, so Vegas has no hope in him either. So I can for sure see where you're coming. It's just something that I think, I mean, we'll get to it in a second. I didn't bet him either. It's not something that I didn't bring that up because he's one of my picks. But it's definitely a storyline that's going to be in the back of my head when I'm watching this weekend and I'm taking a look at the leaderboard. I'm going to be checking to see where he is out of all those names that are up there. So
yeah. I mean, for me to be like, because you did well a few weeks ago, I'm going to pick you this week. You need to have history of that being true, and you know what I mean. So like when Lowry has 3 top 20s in a row, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so confident that he can do it again because he's been in the game, he's shown us, blah blah blah, right? When JT goes off and starts performing well, it's very obvious we have the history of him having stretches of really good play. When you ask me to say, is JJ Spawn going to replicate, I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to pick it.
We'll find
You know
out.
what I mean?
Right?
I'm not going to be the one that says, yeah, that's going to happen.
For sure. And moving on from JJ Spawn, I'm really interested in the top of that odds list as well. I mean, Scottie Scheffler obviously leading us off, Texas boy, right? So I love that he's representing back in his home state. What I'm seeing out of Scottie so far this season is a real frustration with himself and a real frustration with his game. And it might be an instance of, obviously, Scottie is the star power. He's who the cameras are always going to be on. But it seems like, every single time the camera's been on him, he's hit a shot he's frustrated with. He's blaming a bad bounce. He's blaming a lie. He's very much so not comfortable. So really interested to see how he plays this week. And that's really going to determine, in my mind, how I see, he's going to play moving on into the Masters and where I'm going to be on Scottie for that tournament as well.
Yeah.
And then following that up with Rory, I mean, I'm really, really surprised to see Rory playing this.
I am too.
It's his first time playing this course, which is interesting as well. But I think, again, it's one of those things. Is Rory using this as a tune-up for the Masters, skip the Valero, go do the exact same thing JJ Spawn is? I think so. I mean, he hasn't said that I've seen in any type of press conference, but it's really what it feels like to me. I don't think that he wants to follow up his win of the Players with a week off and then another week off and another week off and then the Masters, right? Definitely wants to get some reps in, and I don't think he wants to carry a win hangover and those feelings and emotions into it. So really curious to see. I mean, if he wins this, that's 2 of his last 2 starts going into the Masters. That's a huge storyline as well. So
yeah. I mean, it's weird for me that Rory's playing in this one. I mean, I feel like it'd be easy to say pick him for top. Like, in my opinion, right now, he should be 1 in the world. Scottie should be 2.
I honestly couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I think this week that might change. Honestly, I really do.
I wonder. I'd have to take a look and dig deep. My fucking Christ, I can't speak today. I'd have to dig a little bit deeper into what the actual points look like and see how far off he is. I don't know if a win will actually give that to him or not. But in my mind, by far none, Rory's playing better golf than Scottie right now.
Yeah, 100%. I got a few things I just want to talk about here. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
This is the final event that players can earn their spot on the Masters for. And there's a few people that are in this event here that are just outside of that top 50 that are playing this week.
Can they not win or run their way? Oh, only with a win. That's okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yep.
So Michael Kim is in 52nd place and Ben Griffin is in 53rd. This is Kim's 8th straight event, and this is Griffin's 12th straight event because they're both trying to play their way onto the Masters.
Just grinding. Oh,
Griffin has never played the Masters in his life. Michael Kim has. Now, a top 20 puts them in the top 50 if one of the golfers at the bottom of there doesn't do so well.
Doesn't do so well as well. So,
or doesn't play and just doesn't get points.
I mean, another really good, couple of storylines and a couple of good names to be watching on the leaderboard this week too.
Yeah,
so, hey.
I think that's exciting. Honestly, that's gonna make me want to watch a little bit of Michael Kim and Ben Griffin. And if I see like on day one Ben Griffin's +8, I'm like, oh god, this guy he cracked. It's 12 in a row was too much. He cracked, right? Because you got to think 12 straight. Like he probably worked his way. I wonder what he was to start this year on the FedEx Cup standings, right? Or on the World Golf Rankings. Yeah, that's a lot of golf to be playing, and all trying to get his first Masters appearance. So
I mean,
I'm rooting for the kid. I would love that story
for sure, and hopefully one of them can do it and then go take a week off and rest a little bit.
Go see your wife.
Yeah,
she misses you.
If I were them, I'd go see Augusta, right, and just kind of get those jitters
out
of the way. Depends on the day. Yeah, cool, absolutely. So I think we can move forward. Do you have anything else to speak about on the Houston Open, Tan?
Long course. It's gonna be really rainy.
Yeah, I mean par 70, so
really long course, 7,500 yards.
I wouldn't be playing from that yardage. So
no.
Let's move on. This is my favorite time of the podcast where we go through our 20s, 10s, and 5s. We get to discuss how our bets did last week and talk about obviously our bets coming up this week. So you want to start us off, Tan? How'd your bets do last week?
Yeah, I mean. We both kind of had very similar tops here, and what we said was going to happen, or what you wanted to happen, happened and fucked me over. Shane Lowry got top 20. I secured that with his T8 there, so I got my one win on that. How did your top 20 pick do, Shane?
Well, my top 20 pick obviously was Shane Lowry. So the T8, we of course cashed that bet. I'm going to keep going because I followed that up with my top 10 pick, which was, of course, our man, our good Canadian boy, Corey Connors, T8, cashed that bet as well. And I'm going to actually follow that up again because I had our guy, Justin Thomas, for top 5, second place, cash that bet as well. Your kid brother had a perfect week going 3-4-3.
If we weren't in a competition, I'd say I love it, but I absolutely fucking hate it.
Away, baby.
That pulls you away quite a bit, actually. So my top 10, we're going to go through this here. I had Straka, did not perform well. He finished 28th. And then I had Connors for top 5, and he finished T8. So, that didn't work out well for me. Just a little bit off there. So that puts our scoreboard here, Shane. You're up at 11 right now, and I'm up at 6. So you're pulling away. You're pulling away, that's for sure.
Not too bad. 13 weeks into the season, 11 bets cashed. I mean, I'll take that for sure.
Not bad. Not too bad. I'd love to go through and see how many times we were like one off, you know what I mean? And like
there's
almost every time. Like, I mean, I've got a few where they were a missed cut here or there, but for the most part, I'm a stroke or two off every single time. It's so frustrating. And it's frustrating more that I'm losing to you.
Yeah, so, and I mean, it's really funny because as we talked last week, I was really, really toying between Corey and Justin. And I had Corey at 5 and Justin at 10. And then, you know what I mean, flipped them back and forth and back and forth. And ultimately, I put my guy JT up there and he performed for me. So from my heart to yours, Shane Lowry, Corey Connors, Justin Thomas, Thank you.
Let's get it.
Let's move on to this week because there's some exciting picks to be had this week as well.
I'm feeling great about my picks.
If you're feeling great, let's get you to start us off then, brother. Top 20, who do you got?
Oh man, I just took a peek at your thing and I want to show you something after. This makes no sense, but it makes sense because I'm happy. So we're going to start with top 20. We're going to start with top 20, all right? Take a trip down friggin' this brain hole, okay? This guy is playing his best golf in March right now, okay? Last year, 4 top 10 finishes in rain-affected events. I think we already went through this here.
I know who you're going
This guy has the cleanest irons on tour, okay? He also has the cleanest hands on tour, okay? This is my guy, Aaron Rai. His last 3 at this event here, last 3 years, 7th place, 19th place. I'm picking him for a top 20. I do have a little bit more information here just to kind of back my thought process up here, okay? So, last 3 events, T4 in Mexico, T11 Arnold Palmer, T14 players. Sounds pretty solid. Players actually marked his best strokes gained off the tee effort, ranking him 5th in the field, which he's going to need this week because, of course, it's a long course, right? His average driving distance only ranks him 173rd on tour. Kind of sucky a little bit, right? Which is why you'd want that strokes gained off the tee there. But he's 21st on tour, greens in regulation. And so,
he's going to have the best grip on the club out there this
and the cleanest clubs. Aaron Rai is my guy at top 20.
Yeah, I don't hate the pick. I kind of knew with the detail that you were giving me on Aaron Rai earlier in this podcast.
Listen, I'm an Aaron Rai guy.
He was going to be there somewhere. I'm honestly, with how high you were talking about him, surprised he's fitting your top 20. I think that definitely my lead might be getting to you, and you're going for a safe bet, which I love for you. I think it's a good safe bet.
What did... The guy who picks JT for top 5 last time. Like, all your top 5s are like JT, Scottie Scheffler. Of course you're going to freaking win a bunch of top 5s.
First of all, never pick Scottie Scheffler for a top 5 yet. I'll never pick a minus odd. That's your fucking book.
First off, there has never been in the history of golf minus odds to win a tournament.
Yeah, okay, ever. I said top 5. Top 5. He's minus top 5. Fuck off.
Just wait, because I looked something up. Because it's bothered me the last time you said this. Even Tiger Woods, in his peak, when he was winning tournament after tournament, his lowest ever odds was plus 200 and something. Which is kind of crazy. Plus 200 something.
Yeah.
To win a tournament, right? But yeah, he's never even been plus 100 to win a tournament.
I think that's hard for me to believe. But anyways, you did the research. I definitely, a few weeks back made some comments about that, and it was the top 5 I was looking at, not the win. So my bad. We fuck up. It happens. I'm a human being. But you have definitely picked more than your fair share of minus odds for your 20s, 10s, and 5s. That's a fact. I don't think that Justin Thomas was that safe of a bet picking for a top 5 last week. If you thought it was that safe, maybe you should have bet him instead of Corey Connors.
I like having fun. I like picking different names. And I see the pick you picked over here, so...
For my top 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
I like it a lot.
I love
I almost picked it in mind higher, which is why I said I want to show you something later.
Okay, brilliant. So let's move on to my pick there. His last 2 appearances at the Houston Open, last year was a 14th and 2022 was a 16th place finish. I have good Canadian boy Mackenzie Hughes for my top 20 this week at the Houston Open.
Yeah, I like Hughes. I almost put him a little higher because I like having a lot of fun. I wrote him in my top 5, started writing things out, and just kind of thought a little bit better of it because I didn't want to take out my 10 or my 20, and I was like, stop having so much fun. Shane's killing you. Stop having so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. When I look at my picks, I'm trying. I know I just talked shit about you for pick a sure thing. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? Is winning money, winning bets, and that's the mindset that I have going into all my picks.
Yeah, and so speaking of how we're so fucking similar, my top 10 is a guy that we don't talk about too much on this podcast, and we should. Okay? He's won this event before. He's come in second before. He's sneakily sitting at 37th in FedEx points for the year. His strokes gained rankings don't really give me confidence. But knowing that this is a Masters prep week and with his prior history at this event, I'm banking on my guy.
Can I stop you for a second?
Big. Finish it. Finish it for me. Finish it for me.
Big fucking Tone is your top 10? So when you talk about him winning this before and finishing second before...
That's why I hit it, because I didn't want you to see what I was talking about. Because I already peaked. I already peaked. How does this happen?
Tony...
Shane, I wrote down... Look at this. I wrote this person down. I wrote this person down. I changed it all and then...
Hendra scratched out. Mackenzie Hughes scratched out. Yeah, I love that you read it on paper so we can see all of your notes.
My thought process going into all of this, right? Like, I literally had 3 other... and then we end up... picking the same guy.
Yeah.
I don't know how this happens. Like
Big Tone, I mean, he won in 2023. He followed it up with a second place. I was honestly
won in 2022.
2023.
Pretty sure it was 2022, but
2023 because he finished last year T2.
Okay. Well, I might be wrong. Who knows?
Well, I'll have to look it up now afterwards because I'm in the middle of a rant here, but. Yeah, I mean...
Just plant the seed. Just plant the seed, get him off.
What, you trying to plant the seed of doubt here?
Yeah, get you off your game. Let's go.
You can try. But, yeah, I thought that Tony Finau top 10 was an automatic pick for me. I almost put him into a top 5, but I just thought, how crazy and what are the odds that he's going to have, 3 top 5 finishes 3 years in a row at the same tournament. I mean, hope he proves me wrong. Hope he gets that. I love the guy to death, and I definitely agree with you. We should be talking about Big Tone a hell of a lot more than we do. But Tony Finau, you talk about those streaky golfers. That's kind of how he plays as well. And I mean, another one of those names always comes to the Canadian Open. So absolutely love you for that. Love seeing you every single year up close and personal, and being able to see your game live in our own backyard. But Tony's one of those guys that always seems to show up at these kind of lower tier mule events, and his name will flash in the pan from time to time in the higher ones, which makes us think like, oh, there he is, and then right? So, I mean, it's a mule event. It's getting ready for Augusta. It's an event that he historically plays very, very well at. I absolutely love that we both have Tony Finau in our top 10.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, great minds think alike, big guy. Great minds think alike.
I'm wondering if we think alike on our top 5.
I don't think we do, and I actually really enjoy the conversation we're about to have here.
Beautiful.
Why don't you start me off, because I wanna come in the rear.
Yeah. So my top 5 for this week is once again Rory McIlroy. I mean, I bet Rory top 5 before. I've cashed on Rory top 5 before.
From the guy who says, I don't always pick the favorites.
I mean, I'm not talking about just picking. It's still a top 5. Top 5 isn't an easy bet to make. Choosing a guy that you think is going to be a top 5 and betting him top 20. I mean, that's definitely an easier bet and a bit of a cop-out. I mean, I'm not talking shit. I love it. I do it all the time. Mackenzie Hughes as a top 20. I mean, you had him scratched into your top 5 there. So
top 5, top 10, yeah.
For sure, it's a safe bet. I'm just busting your balls. But, I mean, it's really hard to bet against Rory McIlroy right now. I mean, he's coming off of a rest week. He's coming off of a high at the Players. He's doing his Masters prep this week. He's going head-to-head against Scottie as the odds favorite to win the tournament. And, I mean, I was toying between the two of them, honestly. And to me, a couple of things are kind of what pushed me towards Rory. I mean, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the pod. Rory is playing better golf than Scottie right now. Scottie is very, very frustrated with his game. This is not prime Scottie Scheffler that we're seeing out there right now. And it's definitely prime Rory McIlroy that we're seeing. And at the end of the day, when you talk odds, I mean, Scottie Scheffler was minus 140 to be a top 5. And I'm just never going to take a top finish bet that's in minus odds ever. I don't see it worth it. My money's not there at a minus 140 to take Scottie, and that's another thing that pushed me to Rory being plus 145 instead of minus 140. But other than the odds, I just straight up think that Rory's playing better golf than Scottie right now. I think that Rory's the better golfer than Scottie right now, and I think that's a perfect segue to you because I'm peeking at your sheet and.
Let's talk about this. So
let's talk about how you.
I was gonna go Rory, but I thought you would tell me that was a cop out, and so I legitimately put Scottie here for that reason, number one, but for a few other reasons as well. So you're right; he's not playing his best, but if his best is still a few top 10 finishes, a top 22 or whatever that was, like it's pretty good. He's a Texas boy. He's coming into the Masters, something that he's won a few times. He knows that this is the week where it needs to happen, where the flip needs to be switched, right? A few other things that kind of really give me confidence, even though, like you're saying, he's frustrated with his game. This year on tour, okay, he has 64th average driving distance, which middle of the pack, not terrible. But here's where things get really interesting, okay? He's third on tour greens in regulation. From wherever.
From wherever.
It don't matter. From wherever. Okay? Even when he misses, okay, the random few times he misses, he is 17th strokes gained around the green. He's top 20th in the world at, you miss the green, don't make a bogey. He is second average strokes gained off the tee. This is Masters prep week. Scottie's a dangerous man. His ascent starts this weekend. That's what I'm banking on. That's what I bet on. I didn't care it was minus 140. It was a lot of, I didn't want to pick Rory because of he's just so hot right now. So hot. And I want my Scottie boy to get back into this conversation. I think this is the week it has to happen. If not, I'm a little worried about the Masters odds. Like, he's still favored to win the Masters, and I don't think he should be if he puts a bad performance up this week.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And even though I'm talking about how Scottie isn't prime Scottie right now, don't get it twisted. He's still the number one golfer in the world.
It's insane.
His play is phenomenal. It's something that, I would say he's the best golfer of our generation that I've ever had, the privilege of being able to watch on TV. And I couldn't agree any more with everything that you've said from there. 150,000,000%. If you think that I was going to say that Rory was a cop-out bet for you,
you were going to. Yeah.
I mean, it's
quick question. Who won the Masters last year?
Scottie.
Okay.
What do you?
And he won it 2 years prior, right? It wasn't back-to-back. It was 2 years prior.
It wasn't back-to-back. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
John Rahm took it from him.
Okay. Thank you for solidifying this for me. Last year, he came second place in this tournament. The year prior, he came ninth. The year before that, where he won the Masters again, he was second in this tournament.
Listen, I'm not saying that it's not a good choice to pick Scottie Scheffler to
I'm
be
just saying,
top
this
five.
is the week that he knows this is the week to ramp it up.
I'm agreeing with you on that. I'm just saying, as a gambler, at minus 140, it's a bad bet. That's all I'm saying.
No, I understand the odds play here. I'm more going for a touch and feel play here, and knowing that Scottie knows this is the event. He's got to ramp it up. He's done it before. He's going to do it again. That's my bet.
Beauty. Well, let's move on because quickly before we head out of here today, there's a couple of things I definitely wanted to touch on. And first and foremost, the TGL. We had
my boys.
The championship, I'd say weekend, but it was Monday and Tuesday. Of course, we had the best of 3 championship matches. And just like I said, there wasn't a single speck in me thinking that New York had the ability to win one of these matches, and ultimately
I was hoping they'd win one. I was hoping.
Yeah,
I mean, Xander showed out. He showed off. He had some really nice shots out there, but Billy Ho just closed the door.
Dude, just absolutely electric. And I mean, obviously we're going to announce, you probably already know, Atlanta took it 2-0 and took the inaugural TGL Championship. They did it in absolute style too. And I mean, this is exactly what I was hoping the TGL was going to be. The later that we got into the season, you started to see, you know, the competitive juices pumping. You started to see the crowd get into it a little bit more. You saw the players put into it a little bit more. When the playoffs came around, the intensity increased. Yeah. And these two championship matches were absolutely just electric to watch. I was screaming at my TV when putts were dropping. I mean,
we heard you.
The first match, going back and forth, that putt from Billy Ho. I mean, if you didn't get to see it, Atlanta was down 3-0. Some absolute great hammer play put them one stroke down. There was 2 holes to go. They threw the hammer. There was a long putt that Billy Ho had looking at him. Ricky Fowler was in the sand, put one real close, but it did not matter. Billy Ho sunk his double breaker down the hill, puts them up 1 point, and then ultimately, of course, they put the dagger away in the final hole and won the inaugural championship. So just electric fashion to be able to win. These players came out. They definitely showed that the TGL has a place in golf, and that was exactly what I was hoping with the season starting was going to be the outcome. And I think ultimately that's kind of what we got in the outcome with it.
Yeah, I mean, I sit here and on my, throne, my Atlanta throne because I picked them, but like I really didn't watch too much. I'll be honest with you. It still doesn't really register on the radar for me in the sense of it's the timing of this league. If they planned it better in the sense of didn't have it during the golf year, I think I'd be more into it. Again, like there was March Madness going on, and there's TGL, and I'm gonna watch some basketball.
Yeah,
or there like it's.
In my opinion, and again, this is me, someone who doesn't care about basketball and has not watched a single, game in terms of the March Madness. Like I can see where you're coming from, but also as a golf fan and someone who watched these matches in back-to-back days, like if you weren't watching the TGL, you're a fucking idiot in my mind, right? Because the game that was on display, the intensity and this goes back to, again, I'm a huge fan of team golf. Like, this is what I was hoping to get out of LIV that we're not getting. It's not what we get on a normal week-to-week day, like, you know what I mean, on the PGA Tour. And they even had a nice little kind of sign-off that I really liked at the end of it. Like, they had, the trophy ceremony and the confetti and everything like that. And when they signed it off, they said, I'm paraphrasing here, but we weren't trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. We weren't trying to say this was something that it wasn't. We said exactly what this thing was. This was team golf on a competitive level in a simulator on prime time. And in my mind, it absolutely delivered. I am more than excited to see how it goes and what changes happen going into next year. And
I mean, I think the golfers like it, and I think it's because of this graphic I saw earlier. And okay. I mean, graphics, they can lie. Internet loves to lie to me. But I saw this graphic that said Billy Ho played 11 total holes and made $2.2 million. 11 solo holes and won $2.2 million. Yeah. That's insane. Like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a little bit more aspect to it. Obviously, he's playing when it comes to the alt shot and stuff like that. But, I mean, to me, this it brought a spark to the game of the golf that I think that we, as golf fans, were dying for, right?
I wasn't, but I appreciate that you were.
I mean, 100%. And, again, golf's not for everybody. Obviously, simulator golf's not going to be for everyone. LIV golf's not for everyone, right? But for me, it definitely gave me something to look forward to at the end of the weekend, looking into the TGL. Seeing what they were going to do with the product was definitely exciting for me. And this TGL season, in all honesty, has been a real roller coaster of emotions for me. I think that we didn't really know what we were going to get. I think that, we had a couple of lackluster matches that were, yeah. So there was a couple of, matches that left something to be desired for, and especially at the beginning, you didn't know if the players were really bought into it or not. But I can see, next year, you talked a little bit earlier in the year of this podcast on, the TGL expanding and going to create. I don't think that they need to. I think that there's a lot of hype that was built around this first TGL season throughout the playoffs and throughout the championships. And I think that there's going to be a lineup out the door of professional golfers that want to get involved in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Call me old-fashioned. I would just rather see this team golf on the PGA Tour. I prefer my tour doing this kind of stuff.
Well, the tour is doing it. I know what you mean. You'd rather see it on a golf course. I get it.
100%. I'm not interested to watch someone else play simulator golf. I don't know. It's not for me.
I mean, to me, as someone who watched it, every single week, what I would say in my takeaway of it is the simulator golf really was not the star of the show, right? And I don't think that that's what they were going for. And the more that I've, watched it and the more that I've analyzed it, the more that I've realized the real hype and what they were able to kind of strike down on, and I think they did really well, is around the green. Look at when you go to a professional tournament, that's what we do. We go from green to green to green to watch the finishing of the hole, the excitement, the short game. The short game is what mattered in the TGL, and having that dome around it, having the green that rotated and changed, and having that much emphasis on these players, seeing them. I mean, there was some bickering back and forth with the hammer rules and Xander throwing it when JT had addressed the ball 2 fucking days in a row. He did it. One of them he got away with, one of them he didn't, right? Trying to get in ahead of each other, and that competitive little nature of, the team cheering each other on, and the bickering between teams, and the bickering from the fans. I mean, there's no mistaking it. That stadium 2 nights in a row was New York all the way. The boos against Atlanta and the go New York, go chants, that was exciting to me to watch, and definitely a change of pace that you don't get on your week-to-week, PGA Tour. So I think that they did a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to next season.
I love that for you. I think everything you just labeled off are things I don't want in my golf games. So, in that sense,
yeah, but I mean,
it's weird. So I feel like when we had a conversation around Waste Management Open, you hated the crowd. You hated what you just said was one of your favorite parts about it feels like it's a completely different product, and I think that's what they wanted. I get it. It's just not a product I am interested in watching at all.
So I'm going to piggyback on that because you're absolutely correct. The Waste Management, I think the difference for me is the absolute degeneracy of the drinking and the fucking taking your shirt off and the puking.
Which we talked about, it changed this year.
100%. But I also see a difference between the week in and week out PGA Tour and the TGL. I mean, having the TGL as a completely separate product than what I love. It's what I love about the PGA Tour is what I don't like about the Waste Management, right? And what I love about the TGL is what I, so it's the same aspect that I hate here and I love here, but I think that's why it works for me. Because I've been able to separate, as the season went on, the two products from each other.
It's weird. For me, it's like they're providing an answer to a question I didn't ask. The question I've asked is, why did you separate? Why is there live? Why is half the people I want to watch playing a product I don't want to watch? Those are the questions, and I know that this isn't their direct answer, but it's like they're trying to grow this isn't the question I personally have been asking. I don't care to watch TGL. I don't care to watch this. I'm not looking for what you've described and what you enjoy about this league. What I personally am only looking for out of this is, team golf in the PGA Tour, those players coming back, and so the best of the best are playing week in and week out. And that's the only change or new thing that I'd be interested hearing from the golf world. If they come out with a brand new golf product, it's just not something I asked for or wanted, and that's TGL wasn't something I asked for, and it's still something I don't want. Again, I understand you like it, and there's a lot of people out there that do like it. I even saw Phil Mickelson tweeted that, this is good for golf, it's growing the game. Love that there are people out there that like it. It is just not something for me.
And I mean, my emotions aside in terms of what I like, I think that statement from you is very unfair to ask. Why are there players playing on the LIV?
You asked it.
No. Listen, let me finish this. You asked, I want to know why the best of the best are playing on two different tours. That's not up to the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour, listen, let me fucking finish this. You started this train rolling, and it's fucking.
And I'll wait another 23 minutes to speak again.
Because I'm gonna make it 24 now. So you asked, why are my favorite players, why are some of the best players playing on LIV? Well, PGA Tour can't answer why they can't get the players back from LIV. What they can do is create a product that they think can either be competitive to it, which I don't think that's why they did it. I think that the PGA Tour is looking at how can we continue to grow what is truly, looking at the ratings, a dying game in terms of professional golf and people being interested in a full season of professional golf. I think what they did was they created an exciting product to get a new style of fans into golf that don't watch the PGA Tour week in and week out, that don't watch LIV week in, week out, and that showcases the personalities of the players and not just the game. And I think they hit that right on the head. Why do the players play on LIV and play on the PGA Tour? Well, you got to ask that to the players that left for LIV. And the answer is obviously, outstandingly, the money. Obviously. That's a question that you're not going to be able to get answered. And that's not a fair question to compare against the TGL, in my opinion. Pick up your mic, Tanner. Go ahead. That's less than 22 minutes.
Cool. Love that conversation. You're pinpointing the argument into like a pigeonhole, and I'm not asking the PGA Tour why aren't they playing. I'm saying that is all that I want, is them playing together. I don't care about why. I know fucking why, Shane. I'm not an idiot. Like, don't talk down to me. Like,
well, you're fucking shit I've ever
heard. No,
it's not though.
I'm just saying my opinion is that I don't want another league to compete with the LIV. I want LIV to be gone. I want the PGA back on its glory, and I don't think TGL is the response that gets that or gets you closer to a competitive version of, like, I don't think the competitive, I just think the answer that I want, that I'm looking for, is the combination of the leagues together and team golf in the PGA Tour more often. That is the only answer I'm looking for. And so when they come out with a TGL, I'm just not interested. And that's just my personal opinion.
Hey, that's a fair opinion to have. The only thing I'd say is LIV or not, I'm excited. Like, I would say this, if LIV never happened and the PGA Tour went, we need to find a new generation of golf fans, and they came out with TGL without LIV even being in existence, I would love it exactly the same amount that I love it today. I don't see it as a competitive product against LIV. I see it as a move by the PGA Tour to create more excitement around the game of golf, and I think that that's what they did. Obviously not for everybody,
yeah,
right? But I think that
truthfully, I'll be so weirdly honest here. Part of me hates that LIV is doing better in this sense because I don't really care to watch the LIV events as far as what they're doing with the YouTubers.
Oh, for sure. Let's get on to that.
Please, because you had made the comment, like, I had talked about in the beginning, like, I see TGL going, bringing YouTubers in, and I still would like to see that because that would be a version of TGL I'd be interested in. Pair up one of the professionals with one of the YouTube stars and have them be a team, right? And have that, this still team event, but you have some professionals and you have some of the YouTubers. And imagine the content and the eyes you're going to see because you're not just getting it Monday and Tuesday, you're getting it on their YouTube channels. You're getting all of it. And what the Liv just announced today that I sent you, I hate Liv. I don't want to watch it, but like, I'm actually kind of interested in this one.
For sure, it's huge. And if you haven't seen the news yet, Liv announced that there's going to be a scramble tournament. So it's a 2-man scramble tournament where they are pairing, you know, YouTube golfers and content creators up with Liv players, and they're competing. I believe it's for $250,000. Yeah. So perfect. There we go. Oh, I don't know if that. No, it's not. Keep perfect. I was gonna say.
No, it's not gonna.
So Liv Golf announced its own creator-focused competition with scramble teams. So Sergio Garcia and George Bryan, Bubba Watson, Luke Kwan, Waco's playing with Rick Shields, Phil Mickelson, obviously with his guy Grant Horvat.
Love that.
Dustin Johnson and Wesley Bryant.
That's a nasty,
interesting team to watch. I'm loving this one.
Okay, no, but how did they not pair FP and FP? Perez and Fat Perez. Sorry, P and FP.
Because he doesn't play on Liv anymore.
Oh, he doesn't?
He's a commentator. Yeah, he got relegated. Yeah.
So don't watch those guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Wow, I was really hoping. Okay.
Yeah. The Perez duo is not possible. He commentates for Liv now. But Cam Smith and Fat Perez, just the absolute duo of fucking hair going on there. There's a whole lot of body to a whole lot of no body, but a whole lot of hair on both of them. Team mullet going out there.
That's exciting.
I'm excited.
Dude, that's Creator Classic on steroids.
Yeah, and I think, like, obviously, you know, points to the PGA Tour for coming out with something that Liv copied for once, but, I mean, having it not, like, the Creator Classic, I think, like, where they really missed the ball, and I think they hit on so many different levels, but for me, having the creators go out there, we talked about this, especially having the Brian Bros out there. Like, you have professional golfers that are playing with creators. And I mean, you have players from the likes of Grant Horvat, obviously, who ultimately won, and Trent Ryan, who went out there and shot an incredible 61 through 8 holes. So, I mean, was it entertaining to watch? Sure. Was it something that, you know what I mean, I'd write home about? No. Scramble rules with creators is great because it's going to stay competitive the entire round.
And it just feels like what PGA did is it's nothing creative. It is what they're already doing on their YouTube channels. I can go to Grant Horvath's YouTube and watch him face off against every single guy that he faced off in that Creator Classic. I can't go to his YouTube and watch him like paired up with another against 4 other pairings of that is creating something that makes me want to watch it because it's something that I want out of my YouTube stars, but I'm not actually getting it from their channels yet. Like, it's
for sure.
It's taking it, like, the idea of putting YouTubers on tour per se, right? For the views, to that level of, like, actually being creative with it, actually thinking and, you know, progress. Like, that's moving something forward, not just play around against people you've already played around against, which is already posted 25 times.
For sure. And I mean, one of the big things that I love about YouTube golf, especially on Grant's channel, is when he plays his I think it's called 5 under or something. So he goes and he plays, you know, different professional golfers. He starts at 5 under. Can he beat him? His latest one, obviously, against JT.
He's got chip in.
Oh my God, what a great round, great video. Keep it up, Grant. But I'm really interested to see him paired, you know, side by side. You've seen content creators play with professional golfers and try to beat certain scores. You've seen content creators play against professional golfers either by themselves in some sort of format or in a scramble against them in some sort of format. What's really interesting to me here is pairing them up and having them go against each other, right? And that's huge. Sorry, my phone's ringing here, but I couldn't agree with you more. I think that this scramble match that they're gonna have in Miami this year is, you know, the Creator Classic on steroids. I'm 100% going to be tuned in. I think you knew that already.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear that you're excited about it because, I mean...
Again, like, I feel like sometimes I'm the grumpy guy in the corner here when I'm, you know, talking about, like, I feel a little older in the sense of, like, my golf thoughts, but really bugs me that wasn't a PGA thought, because like I would have given them so much props. And I don't like Liv, but like this is great. This is great. This is actually growing the game when they have these conversations. They're talking about it, which is what I want to see in the TGL. Like, yes, maybe my original thought was they'll need the YouTube stars to keep the TGL going. Maybe that was the wrong part of that thought. Maybe they should want the YouTube stars to grow the game, to like. That would make me want to watch TGL more.
For sure.
Yeah, it would, right?
Yeah.
Like if you had the good team, and so you had like not Grant, because he's not a good no more. But like you know what I mean? Like you just you had the Bob Does Sports one. You had FP and whoever else going out there with like a few guys from Liv, and they had a team. Like try and even combine that. Like I don't know. I see that as a positive way to grow the game and a product that I'd actually be a little bit more interested in. But if it's going to remain the same, I'm just going to keep staying on my PGA and be a little grumpy until the Liv starts combining back over.
Cool. Well, I think that does it for this week. I mean, you guys saw it all this week. You saw some highs, some lows, a little bit of sibling bickering back and forth.
I think the main point from this podcast that people should take home is that Bryson Dechambros is our best friend.
Love you, Bryson.
Love you, Bryce.